Back at the AGFC Captain Horse Burrell Centre of Excellence here in Mona, and we're getting ready for Tivoli Gardens against the Arnett Gardens. As we said, both teams 5-time champions of the Premier League. Only Portmore United have won more Premier League titles than either of these two teams.
And I expect an exciting game.
Well, there's a kick-off, and Arnett Gardens in white, in possession, and I guess they would want to use the opening minutes of this game to get the feel of the surface, because they will know that Tivoli Gardens played on it before, so they know what to expect.
Yes, for sure. So the adaptation has to be quick nonetheless, though, because we expect from Tivoli attacking from the first whistle. We saw a pass going astray from Arnett early. We do know that one thing is good about the surface is that the bounce is true, and players can hold their heads up when a pass is made to them and survey their options.
Nelson does well to win that ball in midfield, but Tivoli give the ball away just as quickly as they'd won it. Yeah, so a wayward start by both teams here. None of them showing the willingness or the composure to possess the ball, but it's still very early. First touch.
One thing you tend to get in games like these, Lance, you'd almost call it a derby, is that a lot of fight, a lot of energy being exerted. Sometimes quality is not what you will get, but certainly you get high intensity action.
Yeah. O'Shane Roberts, Ezran Simpson at central defence, and here's Johnston's pass inside, a little bit short.
I think the turf might have played a part in that one, Lance.
Arnett in control of Sigri, who had spent some time on the Barbican books in Premier League football. Yamard awards a free kick here to the Tivoli Gardens team. Apart from the sort of rivalry that these two teams have engaged in over the years, both from a success level and a political rivalry, because the Arnett Gardens team is a People's National Party team and Tivoli Gardens is a Jamaica Labour Party team. This is also a huge derby because there's not a lot of distance between these two teams based on the geography.
It's not just football, but bragging rights coming out of this game when it's all over, for sure. So a lot of things in the mix to cause this encounter to be a very interesting one, and one that you for these players, high stake. It's early in the season nonetheless, but also too for Tivoli, a chance to really go top of the table to join others if they could get a win early, yes, but good incentive for them to go after.
Price with a long clearance upfield. Both teams looking to have some difficulties here with the pace of the field. Arnett on the advance down the flank with Cephas doing well there, but his cross inside was easily cut off. Elliott's attempt to turn the ball inside, easily taken by O'Shane Roberts. As we said, Roberts just one of two Arnett Gardens players who were on the Premier League field for Arnett Gardens. The last time they played Premier League football against Waterhouse on the 9th of March last year. That was actually the last match before the COVID-19 pandemic aborted the season. There's Alex Thomas, a former player himself, pretty solid central defender. His brother Shavar Thomas coached Portmore to Premier League title success 3 seasons ago, and also had some experience playing MLS football, Shavar Thomas. This is his younger brother who is in charge. There's Philip Williams, the Tivoli Gardens head coach. Good ball played upfield here to Elliott. Morgan with a cross, just outside of Garrison. Garrison does well to retrieve it though. Get some support, he does, from Andre Smith. The play anticipating as Tivoli Gardens looking just a little bit more comfortable on the surface, as you would expect, than this Arnett Gardens team, because they had the experience of their opening match here. This is the first game of the season for Arnett Gardens.
Yes, and we saw just now where Smith passed out, nothing to do with the turf, but just communication there. His teammate on that occasion apologising for not anticipating the pass into space. So often we see players expecting the ball to be passed to feet. That occasion, space was the best option.
Yeah, McCain takes the return pass. Elliott very, very strongly challenged by Ezra and Simpson. Yeah, that's Pennycook under some pressure there, but does well at central defence for Tivoli Gardens. Now here comes Johnson, who loses it.
Pennycook has had a decent start to the game, winning his first couple of duels. That would have done his confidence a world of good.
Flemings. Nelson's first touch is not as good as it needed to be, and he has lost it here in the opening 6 minutes of the game. So both teams look a little uncertain and lacking the clinical touches early. But we would hope, we would expect that the game will build as the half continues and into the second half. The sun not out that brightly at the moment, so that will ease the players from a temperature standpoint, because shortly after 1 o'clock in the afternoon in a Caribbean country, you know how hot things get.
Certainly will. And they can look forward to an hydration break. About 22 minutes.
Here to Cephas. Free kick awarded to Tivoli Gardens. Cephas deemed to have fouled McCain, who was our MVP for their opening game match against Mount Pleasant.
We've seen a few defenders being mentioned and also winning in the early stage of this competition MVP awards, which is good also for the game. A lot of times the defensive aspect of the game not really given the attention it should, and we've seen teams and players so far in the season doing well.
Yeah, Garrison with possession now here for Tivoli. Elliott being harassed here by Ezra and Simpson. And, there was a whistle on the play anyhow. There's Ezra and Simpson. Ex-Harbourview player, was also on the Malines books at one point. Deemed to have been fouled there by Elliott.
One good team I've seen so far, Lance, is the fact that both these two teams are looking to pass forward on every occasion. Not a lot of sideway passing, and to get the attack going.
Been a handball on Jeremy Teddy Johnson. Inadvertently, I think he was tripped as well, and the whistle is favourable for Tivoli Gardens. 35 yards out, slightly down the right channel. Yeah, just tripped up there from behind.
And with the wind behind Tivoli, you beg to wonder if Teddy Johnson, who picks himself up here, will go for goal. It's quite tempting.
Yeah, with the wind swirling as well. Rodriguez and the Arnett Gardens goal will have to be very careful here. Johnson, the man with vast experience, 41 years old now. Lots of tangerine shirts digging around in the box, and the diving save from Rodriguez. Very, very urgent from him, because that was heading for goal.
Definitely heading for goal. That was a good strike on target. I think he would have tried. You saw his run up, just making sure that he got that on target. And with the players running across Rodriguez, that would have put him off as well. So, in the scheme of things, a decent save.
Yeah, he would have thought initially that maybe there could have been a deflection or a sliding header on, so he didn't want to commit himself too early. Garrison comes in, takes the corner short. McCain under pressure.
I think McCain should have squared the first opportunity he got once he put it back on his right foot. The defender had the advantage.
Whistle from referee Nemard. Oh, the kick goes against Price, who is questioning the referee's call.
As players always do.
Yeah, big. And here's what happened. Yeah, a bit of a shoving match going on there, and the referee Nemhard ruling that Price was a guilty man. Free kick to Arnett Gardens, pretty high inside their own half. And Roberts, former Waterhouse and Cavalier defender. Whistle again, this time Tivoli's kick, so Arnett Gardens being thwarted at the moment with their efforts to go into the Tivoli Gardens defensive third. Pennycook pretty solid in defence for Tivoli Gardens so far in this match, as he was against Mount Pleasant 2 Saturdays ago. I would have thought that Tivoli would have been fairly happy to take a point from Mount Pleasant, and the fact that Mount Pleasant went on to win their second game probably tells you that Tivoli did reasonably well in their first match not to lose to Mount Pleasant.
And they were good in the game. There were good moments for them in that game, opening game as well. At points you felt that they could have gotten more than just a point, but you're right, he would have been pleased with that first outing against a team that many felt is the favourite.
Great skill here from the 41-year-old Johnson. Fouled.
His about to see
was
that
errant anyway, but he's lucky that the whistle had gone in his favour before that.
Well, he might argue that it's because of that why his pass went astray, but
he plays it quickly. Garrison, former UWI man Davion Garrison. Oh, his effort is covered by the fact that he appears to have lost his footing.
We see that a lot on this surface, Lance, in the previous games, even at first in match day 1, and also it continues in match day 2, where a lot of players seem to fall over.
There's Kimar Flemings, the Tivoli right full-back. Free kick for them over on the right. Flemings had spent some time at UWI, 3 or 4 seasons at UWI before returning to Tivoli Gardens in the 2019 season. One of the most, or the more experienced players in this Tivoli Gardens setup at the moment. Some free kick to the Arnett Gardens team deep inside their own half, close to the corner flag.
You expect that from defenders in the modern game. They just need to feel a little nudge or touch in their backs and they'll go down for sure. There you have it.
Ezra Simpson, former Harbourview man who was on the Malines books at one point as well. I think so far in this game, Alex Thomas, the Arnett Gardens coach, would be a little bit disappointed with his team's ability to keep possession of the ball. Neither team has excelled really, but Arnett have been a little bit more guilty of giving the ball away easily than the Tivoli Gardens team.
I guess that speaks to them getting used to this surface, and again, a little bit excited, the youthfulness of this Arnett Gardens team.
So Rachel Morgan, I think, down. His second Premier League season. Morgan, the 22-year-old. A player, one of the smaller players on the field, but has a lot of quality.
I'm pretty sure he's expected to carry a lot of the weight for this Tivoli Gardens team, despite his youthfulness.
It did show last year that he has some potential to be a good servant for Tivoli Gardens. Scored one of the goals in their 4-3 win over Waterhouse, he did. Again, the passing accuracy of both teams here leaving something to be desired.
As I said earlier, quality, not always the highest attributes of these games between these two teams, but certainly in terms of energy and fight, you're going to get that. And we've seen a lot of stop-start to the game, and that's because of that type of emotion riding on this game for both these two teams. We definitely like to see them settle and give us some good football.
McCain's long cross inside. Morgan goes up for it and misses. But it did look a little threatening as it was searing through the here for the 18-yard area. It's knocked in the face there, but no attention yet from the referee. Hartley Barnes forward. The offside flag has gone up. Yeah, there's Hartley Barnes.
Just a little too eager to go there. I think that was Lopez. Wow, more than just a little eager. That was way offside.
Yeah, Shadeen Lopez, 20 years old. Wore the Jamaica College colours in Manning Cup football. Just streaking into an offside position there, maybe just advertising the fact that his school are the current boys track and field champions. So he's a little bit too quick off the mark with his pace.
I wonder if he was a part of their exploits recently.
Rodriguez. Big long kick downfield. Barnes challenged strongly from behind by Price. And a whistle quickly taken here. Tivoli Gardens on the attack down the right flank. Oh, Flemings does really well here. Players waiting in the box for it. Elliott, can he get the shot off? Handball, I think. Referee says play on.
Definitely.
The shot was heading goalwards.
Most definitely. And I guess for referee Nemo, it must have been the proximity to the shot, which is why he waved play on.
Inadvertent handball, if it was in fact a handball. Here's Elliott again. Garrison! Blocked. Got the left-footed shot off. Good defending from Arnett Gardens. We're under the cosh here. Cephas trying to go forward to Hartley Barnes with that. Here's the play once again. Now Elliott does really well here because he's hounded by a couple of players. Here's the turn and he'll eventually get a left-footed shot off. Yeah, handball.
Well, Lance, we've seen, he wouldn't know a lot about it, but I think it's the proximity that time that influenced referee Nemad, because the arm was away from the body.
Yeah, the kind of play that VAR would have had to have a look at if VAR was in use here.
And I've seen that one given a lot of times when VAR intervene.
Price. Morgan. Marlon Martin fighting hard for the ball and wins a free kick for his team.
I think one of the problems I'm seeing here and a pattern developing here for Arnett Gardens is a lot of times when they play out from the back, their midfielders don't come short for it and link the play with defence, and they play that long ball over the top and they lose out.
Yes, agree, getting a handful here for Arnett Gardens as he tries to defend the ball. But Guthrie coming close for the pass but not receiving it. The Arnett Gardens captain so far not as much in the game as I'm pretty certain his coach Thomas would want him to be. Garrison. Elliott. Oh, he tried to set himself up for the left-footed strike there, but the ball just squeezed away from him.
The first touch was good, and just that little movement of the ball away to his right just created a little yard of space, but it's just that second touch was just a bit too heavy. It ran away from him. Guthrie has been for Tivoli Gardens Garrison has been pretty much involved in a lot of the things that looks good for Arnett Gardens so far. Yeah. For Tivoli Gardens, sorry.
Yeah, Garrison has been a key player for Tivoli Gardens since his move here from UWI. He was in fact their leading goal scorer last year, Tivoli Gardens, with his 7 goals. There he is after a fairly successful campaign with UWI.
Yes, on a few occasions had his attempted cross blocked, but you feel he's going to be influential in its drive for victory today. Tivoli's drive for victory today.
He is Garrison.
Not too surprised with the possession there, because both teams have been turning over the ball a lot and generous to each other. So the possession equal and the scoreline is equal as well.
Oh, good football here from Garrison. McCain's cross, threatening. Simpson up with a header for Arnett Gardens. Just averts the danger for the moment. Wow. Elliott loses his footing as he was about to pounce on the ball, the 21-year-old. There he is. Attended Jose Marti High and then went to Jamaica College. And was on the Portmore books for some time as well. Aaron Elliott certainly looks threatening here early in the game.
Big striker, and yes, he's certainly causing this Arnett Gardens defence a lot of concern early in the game.
Pretty stiff wind across the ground at the moment, and it is also affecting the trajectory of the ball and sometimes the player's judgment of how the ball will get to them airborne. Yeah, Guthrie struggling there, failing to get his pass off. Janoy Cunningham at central defence for Arnett Gardens, taking care of business there. For the Arnett defenders and midfielders, a lot busier in the game so far than the Tivoli men, which is a clear indication that offensively Tivoli have been the more threatening team.
Coach William did say that's the area that he worked on a lot coming into this game, because he wasn't satisfied in their first outing of their attacking play, and they've certainly showed some improvement here.
Garrison shows good skill on the left. Yeah, long ball played downfield here by Cephas. The overlapping Roberts is being attended to by Pennycook. Referee Nemard is awarding a free kick here to Arnett Gardens, or is it a throw? Yeah, there's the evidence of the stiff wind.
I think the coaches will tell their players to try and keep the ball on the turf. It's a good surface for passing.
Yeah, they have their water break here at the halfway stage of the first half, but Tivoli, led by their big captain and central defender Price, marshalling things there from the back, Dwight, looking to have more control of this game at the moment, although I hesitate to use the word control because neither of the teams have displayed a lot of quality and composure and keeping the ball away from their opponents.
Not much of that today, and I think a lot of it has been contributed to the fact that they've played a lot in the air, especially Arnett Gardens, and when they play out from the back they bypass the midfield and with those long searching balls and not really accurate, as you said earlier, with this wind. And but if you were to tip a team that is more satisfied in this first half of the first half, it's going to be Tivoli Gardens, because they've looked better going forward, threatened a few times. Rodriguez had to make a save, so yes, would be more satisfied, but not much to write home about in terms of the quality, and that will have to improve in the second part of this first half.
And apart from the save that Rodriguez had to make from the Teddy Johnson strike, there was that shot from Elliott as well that crashed onto the hand of one of the Arnett Gardens defenders from close proximity, so they weren't punished for it, but that certainly was a threatening moment as well. I'm sure Alex Thomas is trying to urge his team to settle as quickly as they can, because if you didn't know the past week and a half of this competition, you came here to see this match and you were told that one of the teams were playing their first match on the ground and the other had played here before, it wouldn't be very difficult for you to guess that Arnett is a team that is unfamiliar with the conditions.
Most definitely. We spoke about them trying to settle early. That has not occurred so far, so they're going to have to work at that, and I think they have to bring the different section of the team coming into the play.
Yeah, there's Simpson, who has been very, very busy at defence here for Arnett Gardens so far in this match.
He has intercepted a few passes coming into the penalty area.
Yeah.
Headed a few out. He's been busy, but has stood up to the challenge so far.
Yeah. Peralta Nemar, the man with a whistle. A University of the West Indies graduate, studied psychology. He also played the Costa Cup football for Cornwall College. So he's accustomed to the heat of the battle in football.
So his grade in terms of game management should be very good, having studied psychology.
Barnes. The flag goes up. Throw to Tivoli. From the sort of rivalry that we've discussed already about these two teams and the history, the head-to-head historical record between them certainly tells a story of intense battles between them. 45 meetings between Arnett Gardens and the Tivoli Gardens. 17 Tivoli wins. Ball across the area. 16 Arnett Gardens wins and 12 drawn results.
So very little to separate the two teams in history and also today.
There's Watkins, who was outstanding in their opening game against Mount Pleasant, brought off several good saves and was a huge candidate for the MVP honour for that afternoon.
He's going to struggle to get that award today again if the game continues this way, because he's not been able to show his skills.
Yeah.
Arnett unable to trouble him so far in this game.
Barnes. Tripped by Morgan. Free kick to Arnett. Top of their own half. Close to the top of their own half.
I just think Arnett needs to improve the transition from defence to midfield and attack. Just a little bit more patience and bringing their midfielders into the play, having runners going at this comfortable Tivoli defence. So they're comfortable head out.
Arnett with an opportunity here. Right across the goal! Pennycook it is, I think, that gets the ball out eventually. Powerful strike inside by Cephas. Created some anxious moments there for the Tivoli defenders.
Yeah, the defenders for the first time they got drawn to the ball, got a little bit too narrow. Cephas found himself in acres of space. Just
a lot of power there.
I guess he was,
a lot of power, and Guthrie almost got onto the end of it.
Most definitely. I guess he was just putting it into the danger zone and inviting any of his attackers to just go ahead. And
Elliott, hounded by Simpson. Arnett now in transition. Lopez on the left. Dragged down by Fleming's free kick to Arnett.
And just early signs since the hydration break here, where Arnett has seek to really, as we've suggested, put the ball down and bring their midfielders into play and transition with the entire team, not playing that long ball. And we've seen here now in two attacks to look a little bit more purposeful and giving more concern to this so far comfortable Tivoli defence.
Guthrie, the Arnett captain. 5 or 6 white shirts to aim at in the box. Wow, disappointing from Guthrie.
Disappointing, it built him up well. And I felt a part of his concern was the fact that the wind was going against him in terms of, so he might have just exerted a little bit more effort in getting that one in. And in the end, too much. And that one sailed over.
This Arnett Gardens team, as we're talking about a fresh look to it. A lot of the Arnett stalwarts that we've been accustomed to over the years, Fabian Reid, Marvin Morgan, Kamal Malcolm, not in this setup at the moment.
And it gives an opportunity for the young guards to really stake their claim. A lot of times we have seen that the younger players believe that they deserve a shot at the top level. Well, here they're given that, whether it's by design or forced upon them with the advent of the long layoff. Well, nonetheless, that's what they have put out today. A youthful aggregate.
Yeah, there's Marlon Martin. Guthrie. There's Sigri there on the left. Here's Guthrie. He'll strike right-footed, maybe. No, he doesn't. Right across the area. Deflection, I think, is the cry. Doesn't get the referee's sympathy on that occasion. There's Luca Kong, was it? I thought there was a deflection there.
There certainly was.
Yeah, Luca Kong. Originated from St. Mary. Currently a St. George's College student, we're told. And Arnett are really emphasizing the youth here, giving young players an opportunity. And there's some credit to taking that route as well, Dwight, because sometimes in sport, even at the highest levels, you get young players in and they're fearless. They don't have the experience of disappointments and the stress of expectations and so on. They just go in fearless. And youthful exuberance sometimes shows itself positively in all sporting endeavors.
We've seen it in some games so far.
Oh, delightful ball in. Got a header out there from O'Shane Roberts. Cephas uses space on the right. Still Cephas. Guthrie. Oh, delightful ball across. Hardly Barnes. Offside.
I think Cephas had the chance to play that drop pass to Barnes earlier. At that point, I felt he was onside, and it would have really bamboozled the Tivoli defence had he played it when he was going across it. But that was, from that shot, Barnes was definitely onside.
Yes, he was.
It was a poor call there from the assistant referee down below us.
He was clearly onside. And Guthrie, a lot of vision with that pass as well.
I've seen a few of that from this side so far in the competition.
Nelson tumbled over there from the Arnett challenge. I also thought Guthrie had an opportunity to strike a goal because he had set himself up well right-footed, but he found the Harley Barnes pass hard to resist and played it through. Good pass.
And in the end should have been on the stat sheet as a possible chance created.
5 Tivoli men in the box waiting for the Barrington Price cross. And that's Price with a header. Teddy Johnson will play the ball in.
It was a good attempt to switch a play. It was just as you talk about the trajectory of the ball with the wind, creating a little problem there for Cephas.
Garrison forward, free kick to Tivoli taken quickly. Andre Smith goes back to his captain, and now Fleming's with the ball on the right.
Again, the wind picking up here.
Yeah.
And as I said, that's an encouragement for these players. Tivoli doing the right thing, keeping the ball on the turf.
And the sun has been in and out as well. 1 minute it goes behind the clouds and gets gloomy, and then the next minute it's bright and sunny, as it is at the moment. 33 minutes in, no goals yet, Arnett and Tivoli.
Because of the stiff wind, the sun might not be so toxic on these players.
Arnett continuing to be the busier defenders. Nelson goes down hurt.
And it's good defensive work there by Cunningham. He felt really just was always putting pressure. Really, he did his work.
Simpson wants some movement from his forward players. Yeah, he's not seeing the pass he wants. Eventually he was hoping that Cephas could cut in to receive that one, but not even close.
Again, I still believe they need to bring more of their midfield players into the action. Tivoli was backing off there, and there was an opportunity to play it short because there was not much space to run in behind with them backing off.
Oh, Garrison does well to get into the box. That's good work there by Janoy Cunningham. Cuts the pass off in the end, but really anxious moments here for Arnett Gardens in defence. But Garrison very, very creative on the left and causing a lot of problems here. His first touch just got rid of the challenging man. His pass inside read well by Cunningham and averting the danger for Arnett.
Really had just one player to aim at. I think that was Martin. But again, as we've seen from him so far in this game, very, very lively.
The cross, dangerous. The corner kick from McCain was. Hardly Barnes upfield.
Tivoli has been playing temporarily with 10 players, and Nelson treatment just finishing, and he's hydrating himself here, getting ready to come back on.
Yeah, but it's been a tough half here for Arnett Gardens. They've really struggled to contain this Tivoli team, who have looked assertive and pretty compelling going forward.
As a coach, what you tell your team in a situation like this is that yes, we've been under the cosh, yes, we have not played well, but the bright side is that we're still in this game, we're level, and a lot can change.
Lopez losing possession of the ball. Here's Elliott for Tivoli. Simpson with a sliding challenge. Smith, McCain. Smith's pass is a good one to Morgan. Tumbles over in the box from the Cunningham challenge. Corner for Tivoli.
That was a lovely, lovely pass from Smith, and it really had Cunningham on the wrong side. Really had to time that challenge. Look here to see if he really did that. Beautiful ball over the top.
Yeah, Cunningham got ball.
And for a moment there, he was on the wrong side. And Morgan was looking to get away from him.
Yeah, huge difference size and physicality between the two players there. Johnson goes for goal, does Johnson. I think he was trying for the surprise shot there because there were players to the flank waiting for it, and he had passing options for the surprise shot, but it didn't have enough venom on it, and more than anything else it was straight to the goalkeeper. Morgan, well read by Simpson. Elliott, big and strong, puts some pressure on the Arnett men, but a cluster of Arnett defenders gather and get the ball. Garrison, very, very outstanding in midfield so far for Tivoli Gardens. McCain intercepts. Luca Kong gets in the way for Arnett Gardens.
What we've seen from Garrison is good tactical play here. He's out most times on the left flank, but he does rotate and go inside to create some numbers up, so they play narrow so that they can outnumber the three-man midfield of Arnett Gardens. So Garrison really doing well, and it must be pleasing to his coach.
Yeah, Arnett Gardens on the counter now with Martin. Barnes goes to the top of the box. Lopez does well, but loses it eventually. The covering challenge from Morgan breaks the danger up for Tivoli Gardens. So Arnett's threats at the moment being reduced to transition and counter-attacking plays, because most of the general flow of the game is on Tivoli's offensive end. But here's Lopez, goes toward the box here, does well to try to get away from his man, but Morgan close enough to slide in with a right-footed effort.
He did get away from McCain initially, but Morgan was on hand. It needed to be, because he felt had he not made that challenge, Watt King would have had some work to do.
First corner for Tivoli, for Arnett Gardens here in this match. Tivoli have already had 3 corners. Lots of white shirts in the box there waiting for an Arnett Gardens opportunity, which would be against the run of play if it comes.
It was a poor corner kick, didn't beat the first hurdle. And Morgan's position, he did what was expected of him. Good clearance as well, good firm clearance, and give his team a chance to come out and reorganize. And the deal with a less threatening situation, which is a throw into Arnett Gardens.
Barnes. Wow. Foul on Andre Smith. Free kick to Tivoli. Now the sun comes out very, very brightly as we head in towards half time.
Don't really see much in that, but
yeah, probably the hand in the face of the Tivoli man there. Here's Flemings. Johnson. Garrison. Yeah, good determined work there from the experienced O'Shane Roberts. Just fends off the cross there by Garrison.
I think in that duel, Roberts has done very well. Every time that Garrison puts the ball on that left foot to get the cross inside, Roberts has effected a block, and I'm pretty sure he's winning that battle in terms of blocking the attempts.
Easily the most experienced player on the Arnett Gardens roster at the moment, the 31-year-old. Yeah, you saw there Garrison attempting to cheek his side-footed nudge toward goal, but got too much on it.
Heavily left-footed, you feel on that occasion. Maybe it would be best to swing that right boot to get it around, but trying to turn it with the left would have to open that inside of the foot and just have it glide across it. But the ball came to him quickly, so that was always going to be difficult.
Last 4 minutes of the half here to go. Rodriguez has already been forced to bring off a good one-handed save early in the match from a Teddy Johnson kick. Yeah, Cephas manhandled off the field there, crashing into the barriers. Andre Smith to McCain to Elliott, who has Simpson to contend with. Holds the ball up well, Elliott. Waits for the pass to Garrison. Good football here from Tivoli. Oh, Elliott does well. Whistle. Offside flag has gone up against Elliott. Looks threatening, Elliott. Big, strong young man. Only 21 years old.
That occasion, though, Lance, I felt an opportunity missed from Tivoli Gardens to get the ball into the box. There was about 4 players waiting, and the marking wasn't all that tight.
Yeah.
And had they had a good cross to pick out someone, just would have threatened Rodriguez. We've seen having some difficulty, so left to see what would have happened had he come under some pressure prior to him going down.
Yeah.
But Tivoli didn't really exploit that.
There's Elliott, who was doing some good work there on the left, but you're right to have the option of trying to spray the ball in the middle as quickly as possible, because he had drawn quite a few of the defenders over there on that left side.
And so the marking in the box was slack. It wasn't tight, so players would have had, if they had a good first touch, really set themselves up to really attack Rodriguez in goal.
Yeah, there's the Tivoli skipper, Barrington Price. Cunningham for Arnett at the top of his own 18-yard area. Harley Barnes tries to get a header on. Guthrie challenged here, the Arnett Gardens captain. Nelson. Flemings. Problems here for Arnett, but Roberts makes it look easy in the end.
Good composure there from Roberts.
Barnes under pressure from Pennycook. Gets by Pennycook, does Barnes. Yeah. Smith holds his hand up to say that he didn't do anything. Barnes tumbled over.
I think Smith was right. Barnes actually stepped on the ball.
Yeah.
And lost his footing.
They're fortunate to get away here initially.
Yeah. Well,
there may have been some contact. Price. weight on it. Elliott didn't get to it.
Well,
3 minutes to be added on for stoppages here in this first half, so we still have at least 3 minutes of football remaining. Mentioned how tight the head-to-head between these two teams have been over the years. 17 Tivoli wins, 16 Arnett wins, 12 drawn results in 45 meetings. But in recent times, it's been Arnett that have been the more dominant team. In the last 18 meetings between these two teams, 9 Arnett victories, 5 Tivoli wins, and 4 drawn results.
With the youthful aggregation, you feel they may struggle to continue that trend, but you never can tell. The fact that they have managed to keep this game level so far going into the half-time interval, they may just grow in confidence here.
Yeah. Garrison to Johnson. Nelson. Fleming's overlapping on the right. Deflection. Assistant referee has given a corner here for the Tivoli Gardens team as we complete the first minute of 3 minutes of stoppages.
It was a beautiful searching ball from there, Teddy Johnson, to get that attack going. And it really broke the lines of the Arnett Gardens team and got Tivoli Gardens into that attacking third.
Yeah, and as we've seen a lot here on those set plays, it's McCain given the responsibility of this right-sided corner. 5th corner for Tivoli Gardens so far in this match. McCain's corner swirling across. Oh, the header on goal, and Rodriguez gets in the way.
Not a smart save there from Rodriguez. Second time he's been called upon, and he has kept his team into this one, or in this game.
Yeah, vital save there by Rodriguez.
Did make himself big, both hands. It looked to have come straight from the corner kick.
Yeah,
Oh, just no.
He got close enough to it. It was Anthony Nelson who got the header.
Yes.
But the goalkeeper was right there. Arnett now on the counter. Pulled down by Pennycook. I thought there was some contact there. Was there?
It didn't look like there was much.
Foul by Barnes on Morgan.
But Arnett will be grateful to Rodriguez that they will go into this half level. 2 really good saves from him in this first half.
Yeah, here's Morgan with the ball, and Barnes comes charging in, doesn't get ball, and knocks the little man over.
And one of the easiest calls for referee Nemar to make in this first half. We've gone beyond that 3 minutes indicated, but as is said very often, or the rules of it, it's a minimum of. And
yeah, that's the Arnett captain.
A lot of
Guthrie.
Fouls in this game, a lot of stop-start to this game, but you've come to expect that when with these two teams meet. You'll never fault these players on efforts. These two teams meet, sometimes not quality, but the effort is always there. Sometimes it boils over and you get these proliferation of fouls.
Flemings. Nelson collected but doesn't keep it, and referee Nemart calls an end to the first half. No goals here between Tivoli and Arnett Gardens. Arnett Gardens defence stretched for the most part in this half to white, but no goals for Tivoli to show for it, but fairly competitive and urgent football here from Tivoli, and Arnett have done reasonably well here to fend off what has been a fairly positive, offensive-minded Tivoli Gardens team for the first 45 minutes.
Most definitely, and Coach Williams did say that's what he worked on, and he's seen some improvement on the first game, but also you'd want to feel Arnett could be the most satisfied of the two teams going in, because with all that has gone on, they're still in this game, and we've seen so often in football a game where there are two different halves, and so they'll look forward to come out in the second half and really take charge of the game and see what they can get from it. But a good game so far, quality not so high, but in terms of effort and intensity has been there.
Yes, so at half-time then, Tivoli Gardens and Arnett Gardens locked in a 0-0 battle. Two changes, in fact, being made for Tivoli Gardens.
Therefore, Gray coming in for Elliott.
Gray, the number 18, in for Elliott. And there's one more change that we'll confirm for you in a moment.
I think Bowers came in. So a surprise, came in for Garrison.
Oh, so Garrison is out. Guthrie for Arnett. Holds the ball up, Guthrie. His cross is threatening. Oh, to the post! Wow! I don't think he intended that. He was heading for the far post there with one of his onrushing forwards going to the back post. There's Guthrie, the 22-year-old Arnett Gardens captain, who was pretty tame in the first half. Now wants to come to life in the second half at the start of it. He holds the ball up well. He goes for the cross here. Probably to the near post. Watkins looked to have had that covered, but I think he was going for the far post, where
might have surprised himself.
Men were rushing on for a headed opportunity. Simpson with a sliding challenge on Morgan. Averts the danger, at least for the moment.
An attempt from Guthrie, or an attempt that came from the intended cross, would have given Arnett a good lift for the start of the second half here. First attack, always good to get that under your belt.
Tivoli on the attack there. Devoy Gray, who has just come on, turning into the box and looking threatening. Was Kong trying to play the ball through. I think he was looking for his captain, but it was a badly directed pass. Lopez for Arnett. Lopez. Martin goes looking for Hardy Barnes, but Barnes doesn't have the legs to get to that. An overhit pass.
Well, we've seen sign already, Lance, in the second half, where Arnett is looking to do what we've spoken about in terms of the transition, in terms of bringing their midfield play into position, despite having the win to their advantage, looking to put it on the turf and really have a good build-up play, which brings their midfield into the game.
Gray, the substitute. Oh, Smith gets into the way there of roaming Bowers. I think that's the second substitute who has just come on. Whistle. Offside call there against Shadeen Lopez, the 20-year-old. There he is.
Yes, but we've seen some really good build-up play so far from Arnett in the second half. Definitely a change of tactics in terms of how they will go forward. Again, that looks very tight. The offside call there.
There's the offside call there with Watkins. Certainly having a lot easier time this afternoon than he had against Mount Pleasant 2 Saturdays ago.
And he wants to keep his focus, you know, so often for goalkeepers not having a lot to do. And the only time you know they're concentrating is when something comes their way. He will have to do what's necessary to keep himself in this one.
Come with a pretty ambitious effort from distance. Not threatening goalkeeper Watkins.
Not at all along the surface, and didn't have the kind of power behind it, nor direction. Watkins.
Yeah, pretty stiff wind at the moment.
sometimes even with a win as an advantage, you feel in the back of your team, sometimes it can work against your team in terms of passes going astray and being able to decide the amount of force to put on the pass.
Morgan. Pennycook. Pennycook has stood up well at central defence for Tivoli Gardens in the match and a half that we've seen him so far. Certainly played well against Mount Pleasant, and so far today has been pretty solid central defence for Tivoli Gardens.
He's pretty much there as an organiser, but won all the duels he's been involved in. His positioning has been good too.
I think Lopez didn't realise he didn't have that much time on the ball because Flemings was tracking back quickly.
Again, it was a Pennycook who intercepted. Good anticipation there just to get around Barnes and play that one out.
Sigrid throw to Lopez. Again, Lopez robbed of the ball by Flemings, who challenges alertly for the ball.
That's how you get some of the timelines from your young players, getting up to the speed of the next level. Just need to be a bit sharper.
Lopez again. Barnes knocked over by Pennycook.
Easy call there for referee Nemhard. But again, because they would have been playing their first game, match sharpness would have been an issue for Arnett today, albeit that it's only one game more that Tivoli would have played.
Martin does really well here. Guthrie, good skill. Guthrie goes for the strike. Effort on goal from distance. Wide of the target.
I don't want to repeat myself so often, but I have to say it though, in terms of Arnett coming out in this second half, really looking to put the ball down on the turf. Link-up plays, this was the second time I've seen good one-touch, two-touch passing in the final third. And much better in transition, more compact when they go forward. A lot more players coming into play.
Nelson knocked off the ball there, free kick taken quickly. Johnson goes for the aerial pass at the moment Tivoli kicking against the wind, and you just saw that ball being held up by the breeze.
Made it very much easier for Simpson to effect that header.
Oh, there's Guthrie now for Arnett. Beats his man well, Guthrie. But Flemings challenges successfully for Tivoli.
Just one touch too many there, it felt for Guthrie. Barnes might have just strayed offside, which caused him to take that extra touch.
Yeah, here's Guthrie. Yeah, but Flemings has been tackling really well for Tivoli Gardens. And it's not very easy to defeat this 33-year-old.
His stats might have been up a bit, but it was all ball for him.
Yeah, Flemings a tough customer in Premier League football. Has been playing Premier League football since 2013-2014. There's Martin, I think it's down. Yeah, Martin looks to have some trouble with the right leg. Somewhere around the quad there, apparently. Painful for him. Yeah, there's Kimar Flemings.
Often said as a defender, you want to be firm and in your challenges, and certainly has been so far in this game.
When the Premier League was aborted last year, March, Arnett Gardens were actually 7th in the table and outside of a playoff spot. Tivoli were just inside the playoff spot in 5th, but they were just 1 point ahead of Arnett Gardens on 43, Arnett on 42, so there wasn't much between these two teams when the season abruptly ended last year.
So maybe it's safe to say that if there's going to be a winner today of these two teams, it's not going to be by a big margin.
No, it's certainly not heading that way. Arnett had some defensive issues last year. They were 4th worst defensively in the league up to the time of the league being aborted. Conceded 42 goals of the 29 games that they had played. Only Malines with 47, and the bottom of the table teams, UWI with 51 and Vere with 47, had conceded more goals than they had. And the problem with Arnett traditionally is that even though they may give up goals, they usually score a lot of goals. Big effort from distance from Kung. A lot of power on the strike, but it was high.
Always sailing over, but you expected Arnett to have corrected that coming into this season, especially with their coach and his reputation as a player. You suspected he would have appreciated the importance of the defence and want to set that right this turn around.
Simpson with a pass upfield to Guthrie, but Guthrie's pass not kept in there by Cephas. But Guthrie looking a lot more comfortable on the ball here in the second half than he did in the first half, the diminutive Arnett Gardens captain. And it's an illustration of the youth emphasis that Arnett Gardens are advertising this season. Dwight, that their current captain is only having his 2nd season in the Premier League and is only 22 years old in the number 16 shirt, Romeo Guthrie.
Definitely epitomise what they're about as a unit, and you should get good energy from this team. You play to the 90 minute.
Johnson, good strike! Oh, and Rodriguez holds it, not all that convincingly, but prevents the ball from going in.
Always dipping in front of him, so had to be careful with that one. Always difficult one for the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think they're a bit of an appeal there, but I don't think they can convincingly argue that he was playing the ball back to his goalkeeper. He was winning possession of the ball and it deflected onto the path of the goalkeeper. Flemings. Oh, Gray's pass down the middle channel, not finding the target. Here's the play again. Well, I think it may have been a handball that they were appealing for, but it struck into his abdomen.
No, it was never a handball.
No, and I don't think he was in any
attempting
case
to do so.
to play the ball back to the goalkeeper. Yeah, Arnett wasting the ball again. Young Kong just with the heavy pass.
Another
4 shots on goal now by Tivoli. No shots on target by this Arnett Gardens team. So Tivoli continuing to be offensively the more willing team. But there are a lot of aspects of both teams that will be disappointing their coaches.
One of the things that we've seen tactically a change there from Arnett is that they've pushed higher up the field. The defensive line has gone a little higher, making it a little tighter in the middle of the park for Tivoli, making it difficult for them to really continue their dominance in possession and really hurrying them. And apart from that shot that we saw from Johnson just a while ago, really has done well since the second half started to really toward the effort of this Tivoli Gardens team.
Lopez under some pressure, fouled by Morgan. Free kick to Tivoli Gardens, who have lost some of their strike power with the fact that 2 of their key strikers, Colorado Murray and Andre Moulton, 2 of their most prolific goal scorers between 2017 and 2019, had left for Waterhouse. And maybe part of their struggles in the past season and a half would be that they don't have the prolific goal scoring strength that they had 3-4 years ago.
And even the bluntness a little bit less in terms of sharpness up front has also come about today, Lance, because a little bit surprising to have seen Elliott and Garrison taken off. Not sure, it looks to have been just tactical, but they were a part of everything bright and beautiful for Tivoli in that first half.
Yeah, can't help but feel that there could be some injury issues or something. Didn't see that. Oh, the header on goal. Not a bad effort there from Simpson. Oh, tall young man just soaring high there and getting a header on. but still not on target. So shots on target for Arnett still registering as 0.
And you can't score if you're not getting your shots on target.
Yeah, but he did well there to get the header on, but he didn't direct the header on goal. Price for Tivoli Gardens. Barnes putting pressure on him. Yeah, actually wins a throw. Good persistence there from the tall Arnett striker. Just puts the Tivoli captain under some pressure and gives up a throw, which he apologizes to his team about. We're hitting the hour mark now, and just some moments of spark for Arnett Gardens, who are about to inject into the game 2 men with pace, Damari Deacon and Steve Clark. Oh, great pass on to Morgan. Pulled over by Cunningham. I wonder if he handled the ball before the foul on him, though. Let's see what happened. No, didn't quite touch the arm, but he was dragged over by Cunningham. So this free kick for Tivoli Gardens could be problematic for Rodriguez in the Arnett Gardens goal, because I believe Jermaine Teddy Johnson, the 41-year-old, will certainly want to strike this one.
He's taking all the interest in this one.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone will take this ball off him.
73 caps for Jamaica, including 12 goals. And many goals as well for Sheffield Wednesday in England.
Bowers showing some interest as well.
Romain Bowers in the 38 shirt, setting up for a left-footed strike, but maybe it is Johnson that will strike it. 62nd minute here, Johnson strike, and Rodriguez with a save. He was bending away. And Rodriguez does well with a clean take. Pennycook putting some pressure here on Lopez.
Doing well, Pennycook, but always a good indication of who's going to take the strikers. Player that last set that ball up, that was always going wide from Johnson. But Rodriguez looks like he's a good keeper. Just showing a spectacular. Arnett trying to get fresh legs onto the park.
Flemings. Smith goes wide to McCain. Bowers. Nelson. McCain's cross deflected for a corner. So Tivoli, I think this will be corner number 6 now, is it? Or is it? Yeah, Arnett getting ready to make a couple of substitutions, I think. In the meantime, McCain prepares to launch this one in the middle to give Tivoli the go-ahead goal if they can get it. Simpson with a header out. McCain. Guthrie scrambles the ball away, the Arnett Gardens captain. Gray for Tivoli. Bowers. Bounced off the ball by Simpson. The ball's still alive here for Tivoli. Over the top, brilliant save by Rodriguez.
That's a good built-up play there from Tivoli Gardens, showing some patience, passing around at the top of the box there. When that ball was stayed through, just hit the woodwork. I don't think the goalkeeper,
no, the goalkeeper didn't touch it. It skimmed the top of the crossbar.
Just kisses the crossbar. Arnett now making their change, a substitution. And just to point out, they did get the opportunity on the corner kick for Tivoli Gardens to make the substitution, but just a point of note there for coaches.
Yeah.
You don't want to make the substitution at that time, so often players forget their mark. New players coming in, just not living up to what is expected.
Damar Deacon now in for Shadane Lopez, so Lopez is out. And second change because Harley Barnes has gone off and Steve Clark is now on for him. So Arnett making 2 significant changes up front and getting some more experienced players in. Steve Clark and Damar Deacon have had several years of Premier League football behind them. Here's Arnett trying to go forward, but Johnson picks up a loose ball. Nelson's cross is not a good one, goes behind.
Not a good one at all. And Barnes' substitution, less puzzling than that of Elliott that went on earlier for Tivoli. Had a quiet game, did Barnes.
Yeah, the 2 Arnett men that just came on, he said, vastly more experienced than the ones they replaced.
And with some pace, you suggest, Lance?
Yeah, Deacon very fast, Clark very, very fast players. Morgan. Sigri puts the pressure on and wins the battle. Throw to Tivoli on the halfway line.
Just now, Sigri was just trying to be a little bit cute with it. Sometimes you just need to get the ball out and allow your defensive shape to reset.
Oh, Morgan goes down the right channel, gets Nelson into the play. Nelson being harassed here by Simpson. Oh, Morgan fails to keep the ball in.
And it was developing into a good play there. Morgan just cuts the ball over and got the better of Simpson. Just overran it and couldn't threaten.
Still overcast and a stiff wind here at the Captain Horace Burrell Centre of Excellence ground now. Arnett with the opportunity. Oh, Tivoli! Oh, the headed goal by the substitute Devon Gray. So they've worked hard for it, Tivoli Gardens, and it's the super sub. Gray puts Tivoli up by 1-0.
That was a lovely header, good control header, but the cross coming into the box, beautiful, was pinpoint. And if you look at it, just a one-time ball into the box, and that ball was played in there. Good assist.
Yeah, the two substitutes, Romain Bowers.
2 substitutes combining,
linking up for the goal.
And that was beautiful goal. Heading where it came from. You have to give credit to the pass into the box. Gray had very little to do that occasion, and he just couldn't miss from that position. And it's not more than what Tivoli deserved, you'd feel, Lance. They have been the team with all the shots on target. And finally, Rodriguez has been beaten.
Yeah. We have a second water break now, and I think Tivoli is getting ready to make another change. We see Rodrigo Wellington toward the sideline, getting ready to be inserted into the game, we think. The conditions a lot cooler now than it was 20-25 minutes ago. Well, Tivoli Gardens working very hard for this go-ahead goal. As we said, the 2 substitutes combining for the goal. Bowers knocking the ball inside. Here it is, lobbed pass, and the headed goal by Devon Gray.
And just before he made that pass, Bowers, you could see when the throw came into him, just a little glance over his shoulder, and as such was able to execute that pass. It's not an easy one, just over his shoulder, but pinpoint accuracy with that pass, and Gray was never going to miss from that close range. I feel it's going to be difficult for Arnett Gardens to come back in this one with a game. They're yet to register a shot on target.
Yeah, there's Rodrigo Wellington. He's now on for Tivoli Gardens in place of Jermaine Johnson, the veteran. So the veteran eases out of the game.
I feel that has a lot to do with the fact that much in terms of pre-season and being the veteran he is, felt he might not be in the position to last the full 90 minutes. Give a decent account of himself for the opening 70 minutes of this one.
So Arnett, their backs now against the wall. Tivoli making another change as well. There's Tommy Lawrence on. "20 minutes remaining in the game, and Arnett trying to get back. Here's Lawrence to Gray. Martin cuts the play off.
So often you have Lance players sometimes disappointed that they don't get into the starting lineup, but very often you win a game based on the strength of your bench and the subs coming off. But the right attitude came once he came on, put himself into some dangerous position, and in the end rewarded with being on the end of a lovely ball into the box from Bowles.
Gray gives Tivoli Gardens their first goal of the season, following their 0-0 opener against Mount Pleasant. Twice in the last 6 seasons, Arnett Gardens had swept Tivoli, meaning they'd beaten them all 3 games for the season, back in 2018-2019 and 2014-2015. We can say with some assurance now that that won't happen this year.
It didn't look that way, and I said, as I alluded to earlier, also with the fact that they're rebuilding a youthful aggregate, and on the evidence of what we saw here early before that goal was scored, it's always going to be difficult for Arnett Gardens to continue that trend.
It's the first headed goal of the season as well. All goals that we've seen so far have come from the boot.
Give credit though, but not that difficult it was but his positioning made that
he took a couple of steps backwards to get himself away from the defenders, to make himself clear. So you are right, he positioned himself really well, Devon Gray. Clark sent the ball wide looking for Deacon, so the two Arnett subs trying to combine here, as did the Tivoli men a couple of minutes ago, to give them their goal. Tivoli sturdy in defence though. There's McCain, man of the match last Saturday when they held off Mount Pleasant. And there's Steve Clark, very pacey right-sided player for Arnett Gardens, currently in the middle of the park though, but in past seasons he had been more of a flank player down the right side. Martin for Arnett. Deacon can't get to it before McCain does. Oh, he was attempting to not give up a corner, but he has given up a corner. Price gets the ball away for Tivoli.
Almost a well floated pass there from Martin. Almost measured, just didn't get through on it. He spoke about the defence for Tivoli. Price there, also been solid today.
Price with a header up. His very first season at Premier League football, Price, he was actually on the Arnett Gardens books. But in the ensuing years, so many of them, it's all been Tivoli Gardens rising to the captaincy position now. Good counter-attacking play now by Tivoli Gardens. Gray, the goal scorer, gets free. Still Gray. Wellington! Brilliant save by the goalkeeper, comes out, makes himself big. Wellington will rue the opportunity there because he got himself free and was for a moment unchallenged onto the goalkeeper.
He made himself big. Very big there, Rodriguez. And once he's given a chance, Rodriguez, you feel he's always going to do well. No chance on the other. But again, for the third time in this game, given an opportunity, he really comes up trumps for Arnett. Had it not been for him, then the scoreline would have been much wider, you feel. He still will have some work to do here with this corner kick for Tivoli Gardens.
Wellington's corner. Roberts and the goalkeeper colliding there. And I think Roberts is a little upset with his goalkeeper. But it was a frantic moment.
I don't know, he can be upset if the goalkeeper had not called.
Yeah.
But when the goalkeeper calls as a defender, you want to get out the way.
Yeah. And both of them have the same intentions. Oh, Price misses the header. Deacon. Clark stolen or robbed of the ball by Pennycook, who continues to be smart in central defence for Tivoli Gardens. The back heel, Flemings, great football by Tivoli Gardens. Powers wide, smashes into the light post, way behind the goal. But we had the opportunity for seeing a moment of magic here, where the two substitutes for Tivoli Gardens could have hit the net.
I think he went for the spectacular here, just in time. Not an easy skill to execute. Had to keep his eyes on it, wait for it to come down, and time it well.
Clark being chased here by Pennycook. Martin. Kong. Guthrie. I didn't think Guthrie was expecting the pass. And he lost it. Roberts goes out wide. Kong. Martin. Simpson. Roberts. Arnett, top of their own half. Oh, Deacon a little lazy with that. He was complaining that the pass should have been for Segri instead of him, suggesting he didn't expect the pass.
And he should expect it all the time. He was moving and he was in the attacking third. He made himself an option and has to prepare yourself and get yourself ready.
Another substitute here for Arnett Gardens. Rashid Kelson on for Luca Kong. So Rashid Kelson, an ex-Real Mona man, now on, and another youngster suits up for Arnett Gardens. Deacon. Still Deacon.
Coach Thomas really trying to get the same effect from his substitutes as had Tivoli Gardens.
Yeah, good work here by Simpson, just stealing the ball. And Arnett pressing forward here, looking to put Tivoli on the back foot. Sergei goes back to his central defender, Cunningham.
We have a player down for Tivoli in the halfway line. He's effectively playing with 10, and maybe that's the reason why Price booted it out.
Yeah. Yeah, the Tivoli man down there. Just over 12 minutes now, just 12 minutes plus time to be added on for stoppages remaining here.
But the experience coming to play for Tivoli Gardens and the substitutes coming on for Arnett not having the same effect as those for Tivoli Gardens, Lance. And I think so often we hear the cliche that the game is won from the bench, or in today's game for sure, literally today, if Tivoli is to go on and win this one, which it looks highly likely, it would have been won from the bench.
Yeah. Nelson is hobbling off the field. So Tivoli will continue to play with 10 men for the moment, as Nelson is taken off onto the sidelines to get some medical attention. Martin goes wide here to Deacon. Still Martin. Guthrie. Clark with a strike. Deflected behind for a corner. The ball came off McCain. The Arnett arms went up into the air to suggest as if they feel it may have brushed the arm. Let's see what happened here. Yeah, Clark with a strike. What happened there? Maybe. Clark with a corner for Arnett. Whistle. Yeah, the referee Nemar probably spotted something there in the box, but Clark struck that right-footed effort on goal that hit into McCain and won that corner there.
For a moment there, Lance, with that play being, when the play was developing, I felt Guthrie running onto it. The goal opened up for him. I felt he was, with that momentum or running onto it, would have struck it on goal.
Yeah. Deacon goes into the box, tumbles over from the Pennacook challenge. Nothing there, says referee Nemard.
I think he just hit into the turf.
Yeah, the Orange wins possession here. Gray and Cunningham with the chase. Rodriguez just giving his Arnett supporters some anxious moments there.
I think he gave himself some anxious moments as well. Don't think he intended that, but he will tell you he did.
Yeah, Bowers there just guilty of shoving Robertson, I think, in the face. He's given up a free kick here, so time running out on Arnett as they look for the equaliser. Here's that play there, yeah, just pushing Roberts in the face there, Bowers. There's Bowers, who assisted on the Devon Gray goal.
Certainly been in the thick of things since he has come on. Really been a good substitute for Tivoli today.
Yeah.
You expect when you make a substitution that your substitutes, they either will come on and lift the standard of the game or maintain what you have. You have a player down here, referee obliged to stop play because of the head injury. Just to confirm there, Tivoli leading Arnett by a goal to nil.
Yeah, on that Deveroy Gray strike with a header. Arnett Garns on the back foot. Yeah, so here's the goal, McCain. Well, Bowers with a lobbed ball inside, and Deveroy Gray just positioning himself really well for the header and steering it past goalkeeper Rodriguez.
It was a decent pass into the box, and Gray really just had to put his head into it. Just so often you see the cross coming in behind the striker and he has to twist the neck muscle. On that occasion he just went into that one.
McCain gets rid of the ball. Another solid outing here from the Tivoli Garns left full back. So many other Caribbean players now involved in the Jamaica Premier League. Arnett Garns had a couple of Kititians on their roster last year. Salas Cannonier and Giovanni Lake, who had impressed when they came to Jamaica for the Olympic qualifying tournament and won that group ahead of Jamaica. Cannonier and Lake signed up by Arnett Gardens, but after the COVID-19 break they've decided to stay home and not renew their contract with the Junglists, as they call Arnett Gardens.
Yes, and I anticipate that many more overseas players will be coming into this league. Much improved, new look, and I'm expecting to see a lot more players from overseas looking to ply their trade here. It's a call there for referee Nemhard. But despite the fact that Coach Williams said he was working a lot on the offensive side of his game and he got the reward for it by getting a goal today, his defence remains strong. Pennycook, one of those players who has had a decent game along with Price, certainly putting their hands up for candidates for MVP. Lance.
Yeah. There were some solid performances. I thought Pennycook very, very solid at central defence for Tivoli Gardens. This man, Kimar Flemings, has been flawless as well. Very, very good tackling. And he has really hurt Arnett Gardens with a lot of their offensive plays, Flemings. Deacon trying to steer the ball inside for the substitute, Rashid Kelson. Gray. Nelson. Under pressure here, Nelson. I think he handled the ball, did he?
Just bubbled up on his hand, and in that part of the field, not wanting to give any advantage after the ball has hit the hand.
Whistle. Kane has also been outstanding for the second game in a row for Tivoli Gardens.
Steady, I think, and that's always a coach's dream to know. A coach always likes to know what he's going to get. He'll take a 6 all day, then a 9 and a 2. So Kane, yes, steady again today, but in terms of standing 4 today, I have to agree, Flemings and Pennycook has stood out.
Yeah, defensively, Tivoli have really robbed Arnett Gardens a lot of their offensive moves in this game.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I think with 86 minutes gone in the game, Arnett is yet to have a shot on target.
None. You're right. Sigri.
I think if that continues towards the end of 90 minutes, I think that gives the defender, to me, the edge.
Wow, bad tackle. Cunningham. That's a very reckless challenge from Cunningham on the goal scorer, Devroy Gray. Cunningham looks to have hurt himself as well.
Yeah, it's very dangerous. I mean, the more you look at it in slow-mo, as they say, it looks worse, but definitely was a bad challenge from Cunningham.
Yeah, the kind of play that the referee could have contemplated the red as well.
Most definitely. And that's the difference between Arnett and Tivoli in terms of their substitution, affecting the game in different ways. Tivoli's substitutes more having a positive impact on the game, and Arnett's substitutes have not been able to bring about that change or raise the level that Coach Thomas would have anticipated.
Price goes down the left channel. Nelson! Oh, doesn't get the shot off. Whistle. What was that?
His first touch looked like it would have set him up, but that
maybe a handball.
Yeah, because that touch looked so crisp. Maybe he needed a hand to assist. But for a moment there, you felt setting himself up for a strike on goal, and Rodriguez would have had to be at his best to prevent Tivoli going 2 up in the dying moments of this one.
Pennycook, classy as usual, wins the ball and his distribution excellent upfield. Arnett though with possession, looking for a late equaliser. Flemings.
So Lance, based on that comment just now, I'm going for Pennycook.
Gray, under pressure from Cunningham. Still Gray. Still Gray. Flemings. Lawrence. Oh, Wellington cannot retrieve. And Cephas gets away with the ball.
It's been a great cameo performance from Gray. He has really come on and really lifted the tempo and the intensity and threat for this Tivoli Gardens team. Tivoli looking to make another substitution.
Yeah, I think that's Nelson down again, is it? Yeah, Nelson has had a rough outing here. These big, strong Arnett defenders are not keen on taking prisoners. Cunningham over 6 feet. Ezra and Simpson over 6 feet as well.
So Nelson substituted here for Tivoli. Machine Thompson comes in.
Simpson upfield with a pass, but gives it away McCain. Smith. Oh, a lot of confidence on the ball, Smith. Goes down the left channel to play broken up though. Simpson challenges well. Has played well at defence here for Arnett Garns. I think both Arnett central defenders have played well today.
And he did well. Couldn't do anything on that goal that Gray scored.
Yeah. Clark under pressure from Price, who buttons him over. Clark looks pleadingly at the referee but gets no sympathy as we are into stoppage time now. 3 minutes added on. And Tivoli Gardens are on the verge here of collecting a victory over Arnett Gardens.
Smart was, Price was very smart there, just with the momentum, just nudged the attacker there and put him off balance, and not enough for referee Nemard to punish him for.
Wasted play there by Cunningham. Gives the ball up into stoppage time. Tivoli's last victory over Arnett Gardens in Premier League football came back in November 2019 when they won 3-1. Captain Price, Garrison and young Dawkins the scorers for Tivoli Gardens on that occasion. And it was some time before that they had beaten Arnett Gardens in any Premier League fixture. Over a year, in fact. It was February 2018, their last win before that. So Tivoli on the attack here with Wellington. Still Wellington. Oh, Wellington does well here. Can he get the crossing? He does. And Cunningham knocks it behind for a corner.
It was a good driving run.
Ready to Wellington.
Showing good strength and drive there from Wellington. Got in behind the Arnett Gardens defensive line and is looking to put in a telling cross.
Yeah, I'd spent some time with Waterhouse and Marvelly Hewington as well in Premier League football, Wellington.
Lawrence there looking to keep the ball in the corner just to eat up some of the 3 additional minutes.
Yeah. Desperation time this now for Arnett Gardens as they are facing defeat, as we have less than a half of a minute remaining here in this fixture, as 3 minutes added on for stoppages about to elapse, and Tivoli Gardens on the brink of getting a hard-earned victory over Arnett Gardens, a young new-look Arnett Gardens team. And there's the referee Nemard's whistle. Tivoli Gardens with their first 3 points of the season after starting off with a 0-0 draw against Mount Pleasant, and they've come up with a fine victory here. Worked really hard against an Arnett Gardens team that looked in many parts disjointed, but there's their captain Romeo Guthrie. Had an improved second half, but your super sub Devroy Gray makes the difference between these two teams. The ball lobbed inside to him by another substitute, Romain Bowers. And that's the difference. The big central defender for Arnett Gardens looks gassed. So as the sun comes out once again on an afternoon where we've had overcast, then sunny, then overcast conditions, the sun shines brightly for Tivoli Gardens, 5-time champions of the Premier League. Now 4 points from their 2 fixtures, so they go joint top of the table with their 2-game unbeaten run. Devroy Gray, the 6th to 7th minute strike, coming off the bench. Tivoli Gardens 1-0 over Arnett Gardens.